All right, so now we're supposed to use the limit definition of the derivative, which is the algebraic method we've been looking at, to write an expression for the rate of change function of the given function. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to find f prime, okay? And we need to do like we've been doing here before. So let's first go ahead and find our point. Well, that's going to be x comma 4x squared, because we just plug f of x here, which is 4x squared. Then we find a close point. Well, that's going to be x plus h, and then 4 times x plus h quantity squared. Okay. Well, now we have to square this and take it times 4. Well, that's going to be 4 times, and if we square that, that's x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. And so it's going to be 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared. Okay. So that should be what we get there. And so this now becomes x plus h comma 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared. Okay. Now we plug that into our limit function. Now they're using the f prime notation, so we'll do that too. We'll find f prime of our x here. And so that's going to be equal to, now we take our second part, 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared, minus our first part, which is just 4x squared, all over h. Well, guess what? We can cancel. It looks like that goes bye-bye with that. And so now we have 8xh plus 4h squared over h. Okay. Now, can we do anything to simplify that? Yeah. We forgot something here. We forgot. Let's go ahead and oops. Let's go ahead and erase this. We forgot the limit notation here. So this is the limit as h goes to 0, and this is the limit as h goes to 0, and that's equal to our f prime of x. So can't forget the limit part. Sometimes I forget to write that because I wrote that over there and I know I'm taking the limit. But now I need to think about it, because now I need to say, okay, well, now that's equal to the limit as h goes to 0 of h times 8x, and then I have plus 4h all over h. Now those go away, and so that gives us the limit as h goes to 0 of 8x plus 4h. Okay. Now let's plug in h equals 0. Well, nothing here, but this one is that, so that becomes 0. Now that becomes basically, then we just get 8x. Okay, so that's what f prime of x is going to equal, is 8x. So that is part A. So that's part A. Now part B says evaluate the rate of change as indicated. So now we want to find f prime of 2. So B, that's going to be f prime of 2 equals 8 times 2. That's equal to 16. Okay, and so f prime of 2 equals 16. And so that is what they want for this one. And again, we did everything algebraically to get to our derivative, and then we just plugged in and did some more algebra and took 2 times 8 and got 16, and we have our f prime of 2, the rate of change that they asked for. All right, let's do it again. Now this time, they're wanting us to do in the dg dt form, and then evaluate at t equals 4. Okay, so, well, again, what we're going to do is we're going to do our thing where we need to find dg dt and it equals something. So we have to find our point. Let's go ahead and put this up here since I wrote that already there. And that's going to be, and I'm probably going to mess everything up, but it's going to be t comma 4t squared minus 3. And our close point is going to be t plus h comma 4 times t plus h squared minus 3. Now, we just did something like this, 4 times t plus h squared, except it was 4 times x plus h squared. So, we're going to get to this point here, 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared. So what we can do is we can kind of cheat and say, well, we know that's going to give us t plus h, comma, and then that was going to be our 4t squared plus 8t h, I'm trying to think of x's and t's here, and then plus our 4, uh, 4, uh, 4, and then h squared, and then we have minus 3, okay? So that's going to be that. And now what we can do is we can go ahead and plug all that in. And so now we're at this point. So this is the limit as h goes to 0 of 4t squared plus 8th plus 4t, oops, that's an h squared minus 3. And then we have another thing. So then we'll say minus, and then we'll say 4t squared minus 3. And again, that's all over just a single h. Now let's convert that on top there into just a pure subtraction by removing all parentheses. And so it's 4t squared plus 8th plus 4h squared minus 3 minus 4t squared plus 3. Okay. Now, can we get rid of anything? Looks like 4t squared minus 3 plus 3. And then we're left with that. And it's all over still h. Okay. Now let's kind of come back down here now. And so that's going to be the limit as h goes to 0 of. Now let's go ahead and factor out that h to start with. So then we can do maybe one last step. H times, and we have 8t plus 4h all over h. Those go away, and so we get the limit as h goes to 0 of 8t plus 4h. Now we plug in h is 0. That gives us 0. Here, this is just going to give us 8t, and so we get 8t is going to be our value. And so that's going to be dg over dt. Okay, so that is part A. Okay, now they say evaluate that at t equals 4. Okay, so now we say, okay, well, b is going to be dg dt at t equals 4. And so that's going to be 8 times 4. So that's going to give us 32. So dgo dt at t equals 4 equals 32. And so that is our solution to that part of the question. So we did our algebraic way to get to our limit for our derivative, and then we evaluated that derivative at 4 and found the value of 32. All right, so let's stop there and come back for more.